Right, so we're back again this week, and this week we're driving the new BMW 2 Series. This is a car that was launched, I think, back in 2021, at the end of 2021, because I was at the launch, and they launched, it was a 220i, 220d, and an M240i. So the M2, by the way, I'm at the car wash, just waiting to get my car into the bay. I thought I'd chat to you and let you know what I'm driving. So they launched those three variants, 220i, 220d, M240i. And you know, the one standout thing about this new 2 Series is the design. So the very last 2 Series that I drove was the 220d, and we're back in the 220d right now. Everything's different in here. The design's completely different. Sharp edges, front and back. Like, BMW is not shy with the design anymore. There was a designer back in the day, Chris Bangle, and he basically started this radical design philosophy with cars like the 5 Series back then, the 6 Series, and you know, BMW has gone back to that now. You look at this 2 Series, you look at the 7 Series, the design is just extreme. Like, it's just, they're not shy. So this launched last year, and today we're in the 220d, 140 kilowatts, 400 Newton meters. Design is completely different. So I'm gonna spend a few days with this, and I'll let you know. I'll touch base again after a couple of days and let you know what I've discovered, what I like, what I don't like, and what I think you should know about this car.
3 days later.
It's still got a 2-liter turbo engine, turbo diesel engine like it did previously. This engine for me, or this version of the engine, is just way too refined. It's got a refinement to it, and it's lost its edge. In the previous car, it had an edge to it, it had a bite to it. This is refined, it's quick, it's smooth, it's crisp, and it just doesn't feel as engaging. So if you've driven the previous 2 Series, or if you've driven any other BMW products, you're not going to have a hard time adapting or getting used to this interior and how things work in here, because it's still very much the same. You've just got a new iDrive system in here, a new screen which is bigger. We've got a digital instrument cluster, so they've done away with dials and all of that. Everything is now digital in the cluster. And seating position and driving feel, I think that's one thing I must mention in the new 2 Series Coupe. It still feels the same. Like, it's still, I mean, it's a low slung car, so you're sitting right at the bottom, you're sitting on the floor. I like to sit as low as possible. I must say that the engine has still retained some of its characteristics, one of them being fuel economy. So it still does have good economy. I mean, I'm averaging 6.8 liters per 100, and I've been enjoying this, and I've been driving it the way that I would enjoy driving a diesel car and enjoying all of that torque. So fuel economy is still there. I mean, if I drove it more respectfully and better, I'd probably get far less than 6.8. Like I said, the engine is way more refined. It still does feel quick, but you know, I can compare this to like Audi vehicles. That's the best comparison I can make. Those cars, you sit in the driver's seat and you point it in the right direction and it just moves, it disappears. This is what BMW is sort of doing here. This is how this 2 Series feels now. It's so refined. Yes, it's quick. Yes, it's got sharp handling, and you know, you can throw it into corners, but you're not engaged as a driver. There's no engagement. It's like you're just sitting here and you're just going along for the ride. There's no fun, there's no working the car and actually enjoying and physically driving the car. It's lost that. Now, if there's one thing that we must talk about in this car, which I think is probably the elephant in the room, it's the price. So you're getting a 2 Series, you're getting the M Sports package, the body kits, you get the M Sports seats, you get all of this tech, the iDrive system, etc., etc. But you're paying 870,000 Rand for a 220D. This isn't the M240i, this isn't the M2. It's a 220D. So this is like a mid-spec 2 Series, and you're paying 870,000 Rand. You can't even fit people in the back there. These rear seats are basically for like toddlers, like small kids or midgets. You can't fit anyone in the back. And So that for me is a bit of an issue, the price point for this car. Yes, BMW is probably going to argue and tell you that, hey, you're getting all of this standard, all of this equipment and features and this and that, and the M Sport this, M Sport that is standard. But it's a lot of money for a 2 Series. It's nearly R1,000,000 for a BMW 2 Series. So I don't know if you're comfortable parting with that kind of money for this. Obviously, it's all subjective. If you think it's worth it with all the features, all the M Sport this, M Sport that, personally, I'd still buy the previous one and forget about the features.